Back to you. Let's how did you get into this? Did you study this in college or school, or how did you get into crypto? And I think it was one of your relatives who really introduced it to you. But do you have a financial background, or what brought you to this?
No, I don't. I don't have a financial background. In college, I went to college for about 5 semesters. The first semester was financial aid because of came from a low income family, but I didn't do very well grade wise. I didn't do too much studying. So the next 4 semesters, I worked and paid out of my pocket for it, and I took business management, psychology, arts, philosophy, and another business class. Just taking classes. I didn't get a degree or anything. I was just taking classes. So that's kind of my college career. 5 semesters over the course of 2.5, 3 years.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's never too late, because I was on the same path. I was on the 11-year path. I graduated when I was 29. I did get my degree, but went for a couple of years, then took some time off, and then took a couple more classes and more time off, and then finally finished up just before I got married at age 30. So it's never too late. And when you get interested in stuff, or when you want to pick it up, you will.
Absolutely.
So then how do you change? So what do you do day to day? What drives you every day? And I know that crypto is your passion, and we're doing this, in the evenings. What do you do every day?
Well, crypto. No, it's funny how things come together, and how how like the jobs. I mean, I've worked probably 40 jobs and 40 different jobs, or 40 different careers, I guess you can say, throughout my life. I mean, I'm only 26. There's gonna be probably another 50 or 60 more. But originally the very first job I had was, my dad was a truck driver, so I would go on the road with him every summer, or most summers, and work. At the young age of 8, 9 years old, and so that taught me a work ethic at a really young age. Whether it was just unloading the trucks, or folding the furniture pads, or keeping the truck clean at all times. And then I transitioned when I was in middle school to working in the warehouse with him. And so I would jump on the school, or on the bus after school, the city bus, and ride it, 30 minutes south, and walk another 1.5 miles to get to the warehouse, and work for 4 or 5 hours, and get back on the bus, ride it back home, and, repeat, get my sisters ready for school in the morning, go to school, get on the school bus or the city bus, ride it to 30 minutes south, and work. So then, I've always had like that, I guess, that work ethic at a young age. And from there, I transitioned to just, bus boy, pizza delivery driver, assembly line, manufacturing, warehouses. And I got, when I was in college, I actually got a really cool job that changed a lot for me, because one thing it did is it put me in a small business, like a mom and pop shop. And it was literally just with the father and his son. It was a cabinet making business. And that really, it changed a lot for me, because I had a really positive male role model, a consistent male role in my life at that time. And it's just learning a whole new skill. And so I never did woodworking before, but I picked up on it, and I learned it very well. And that was 5 hours away from my hometown. So after about 2 years of working there, I moved back to my hometown, and I tried to get a decent, or a pretty good paying job in a warehouse, and I didn't get it. And so I was working for another cabinet shop, and it wasn't the same experience, and it wasn't it just wasn't the same. And I was listening to a lot of podcasts at that time, and I was 22 years old. And I was listening to Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, and I was listening to NPR's How I Built This. I heard of how Southwest was built, Airbnb, Mark Cuban, how he got started, and it inspired a lot in me, to where I want to work for myself. And so what I ended up doing was I started a cabinet shop, and I went and got an 1,800 square foot shop, and I didn't have any money. It was just, it's just tooth and nails, grit, trying to figure something out. And What I did is I went on Craigslist and I just bought a whole bunch of different worn out tools. And so it was like a 1980s Craftsman table saw, and I fixed up the motor mount on it. And I went to, just whatever it was, whatever possible. I didn't, it was just scrapping just to get there. And from there, I was like, I want something more or something more exciting. I want to get out of here. So I called some family and I said, hey, do we have any family outside of this state? And they said, yeah, you have some family down in Texas. And I was like, all right, I'm going there. So I packed everything up I had and moved there in 2 weeks' time. It was just in my truck and some boxes of clothes. And I started working for a pretty good company. And I worked my way up the ladder in this company. And over time, I was saving money. And that money I was saving ended up being for, what I use for crypto. And that's what got me into crypto as far as monetary wise, was just saving my money. Every week for my paycheck, it was 10% of my paycheck I was putting into a saving account, which was going into crypto. But as far as to know how to get into crypto, my grandfather told me how to, he almost quite literally, I don't know if anybody's ever seen the Homer Simpson or Bart Simpson meme, how Homer Simpson's always choking Bart. It was almost quite literally my grandpa grabbed me by the shoulders. He didn't choke me, but grabbed me by the shoulders and just like, listen, this is the future. And this is back in 2017. You need to get focused on it. I don't understand it. I don't know the technology behind it, but I know this is the future. And so it's pretty cool how the older generation was telling the younger generation, get focused on an emerging market. And so that's how I got into crypto.
That's great. That's great. It's good to have, those strong, powerful people, your first, job mentor and your grandfather who tells you, gives you just a little nudge in the right direction. And like I was saying last night, my boys came to me looking for that. And I said, you got to go long. You're young enough, go long. And so we dove right in. So that's great when you get people giving you good advice like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, getting into crypto, it wasn't always easy, especially for me. Yeah. What I did is I had bought a couple of Bitcoin back in early 2018 or middle 2018. And, I was like, I'm going to be super rich. This is awesome. But what I was, I guess, naive about is I was ambitious enough that I wanted to grow it. And so what I did is I was going through Telegram and Twitter and even, just reaching out to family, friends of investments with Bitcoin. And so I found 5 different programs to where you can, and all of them were the exact same. And it blows my mind how naive I was, but all of them were the exact same. And it was, hey, if you give us your Bitcoin, we have these bots that go into the exchanges and arbitrage trade the prices of them. So if you give us your Bitcoin and we'll give you the returns from it. Well, I gave my Bitcoin to 5 different places. I had X amount of Bitcoin I was giving out to 5 different places, and I never got it back. And so if I would have just held onto it, kept secure my funds, I would, I'd probably be a little bit wealthier. I mean, we've seen the price of Bitcoin right now, but I lost all of that Bitcoin. So I've failed in this space. I told him I would whip his ass if he didn't learn his crypto stuff. Yes, he did. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing why I'm so passionate about crypto is because I have failed along the way, and it sucks. It really does.
First lesson is you didn't fail anything. You learned a very hard lesson, and I'm sure you've taught it over and over to other people in the group. And was it your grandfather that told you about this group? How did you find bees.social specifically?
I had my grandfather has a really, really, really good friend, and he's been connected with some of the people in Opus for a while. And last March, he had me download the Opus ID app, and so doing the support the partners and stuff. And that was before I went to the DeFi project that we have now. And so I didn't really understand what we were doing with this. I just had this app and it says support partners. And he's telling me, trust me, you want to do it. Trust me, you want to do it. I'm just looking at this app, looking at my bank account, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is doing for me. But so I didn't really understand the big picture at that time. And but in August, my grandfather called me and he says, "Hey, Opus is doing a DeFi project. You're going to want to get involved in this." And I had a sour taste in my mouth still from crypto because of, what I've lost. And so I remember, and I can't believe at this time I can't believe how naive I was as well. But I told my grandpa, "Oh no, I'm just going to sit this one out. I've already dabbled in it. I'm just going to sit this one out." And he goes, "You're not listening to me." And I go, and I was like, "No, it's okay. I mean, I'm going to sit this one out. Let me know how it goes." Well, 3 days later, he calls me up. "Hey, you really need to get involved in this, WP project, the Opus project." I'm like, no, I'm going to sit this one out. So he drives to Fort Worth and he's here in the, he pulls out his laptop and he's showing me some of the stuff. And he goes, "Look, you need to get focused on this." And I was like, "All right." So that next week I got invested. And from there it was, I didn't want the same thing to happen from when I gave my funds to other people. And so that's what I really loved about the Opus, was that you weren't giving your funds to anybody. You're in full control of your funds. And that inspired me to do my further research. And so I've been taking a lot of time the past, years, the past 8-9 months, like almost every single night, just studying 2-3 hours a night, 4 hours a night, watching, even if it's just videos or articles or, and I paid like $600 for a Solidity programming course, and Solidity is the programming language of Ethereum. And I've never done programming before in my life, but it's just any type of knowledge I can get in this space, I seen as valuable. So I took the Solidity course, and I understand, some of it, not all of it. I mean, I've typed up a couple of smart contracts, but I was following along the course and the videos. But that gave me a deeper understanding of Ethereum and also smart contracts. So just, that's I guess how I've gotten to bees.social, was that pathway.
Nice. Now that was similar. Patrick is the one who brought me in, and it's, I say thank you to them. The first thing I say instead of hello is, thank you, when I talk to him, because it's much different than anything else in crypto that I've been approached with. It's funny when you did the coffee shop challenge and stuff like that, and I've been in real estate for 30 years. I walk into the barber shop, and when the barber and other people in the other chair are like, "Oh, I'm flipping houses," and back in 08, whatever, before the crash, people were like, "Oh yeah, bought a house, painted it, and put new, hedges out front, and made $80,000." And when they start talking like that in the barbershop, it's time to get out of real estate. But we're looking for that conversation to happen in crypto, not because of the day traders, because I was approached with several day trading type scenarios where we'll trade it for you, or we have a system and you do this, and I've seen those things before, even with penny stocks and stock market stuff before, and I'm like, I didn't want to get into any of that. I just stay in my lane and focus on real estate. But when I was talking with Patrick, he goes, "This is something completely different." He goes, "You stay in control. We're gonna, build out a whole currency, and this is the future. This is, has the human, the compassion part of what we're doing. That whole motivation behind it, that clicked for me, and I said, this is not a trading platform. This is not a trading scheme, or anything like that. It was definitely a movement that is embracing the change of cryptocurrency and the blockchain technology. And when I saw that, it took me about a week of these calls, because it was all jargon and lingo that I did not understand. But once I get the concepts, and then of course meeting everybody in the groups, who are just regular, just passionate, people looking to help that change happen, was just so powerful. So it was an easy group to latch onto, because it's not just, we're all going to buy this at once and, pump it up, and then we're going to dump it on Thursday. And that stuff doesn't happen at all. And when I tell other people that, I have other friends that are like, "Oh, we're going to do, this." And they start telling me about other coins, because I told them about M2, and they were like, "Oh, my son got Shiba, and we're gonna and I was like, that's great, good for him, good luck, that's great. But I'm not interested in any of that. This is a long-term strategy and a movement that I want to be a part of. So it was easy to join and hook my wagon to it, or whatever you want to call it. So it was great. It was great. But how did you get into or understanding the DeFi part of it? Because that's usually the most confusing part for people.
And so that's exactly what I was about to say. Is at first with crypto, and even now there's a bigger vision that I may not be seeing, but I feel like my lens or my view, my perspective has broadened and it's become vastly larger than what it was 2 years ago or a year ago or even 3 years ago. Before, I only seen crypto as just like a digital currency, as Bitcoin, a digital currency, Ethereum, digital currency, and then the narrative was always it's super fast. You can send it to anybody across the world. And that's just kind of what I understood. And I understood it was kind of like stocks. So when it came to crypto, I didn't understand crypto at that time. I thought I did, and I would tell people I did, but I really didn't. And it was all crypto was beforehand was, essentially just, what my perspective was that you go on a Coinbase or a Binance or a Kraken or Poloniex or any of the exchanges, Gemini, and you were just buying and selling cryptos, day trading, or even just buying and holding them. But that's not crypto. And so that's when I started learning about decentralized finance and realizing that DeFi is crypto. And when I started learning that, that's when the light bulbs and the circus lights and the rocket ships and my brain literally just exploded. I have not been able to put it back in my head since. I've not been able to shut my mouth since about talking about it. The people at work, the people, my family, that's all I talk about 24/7. And it's what's so exciting about it from DeFi is you're not going on to some exchange and just buying and holding an asset or buying and selling an asset. With DeFi, you're putting your assets to work for you. But not only that, you're in 100% control of your funds, and you keep 100% control of your funds. And that's what was super intriguing to me, because when I gave my Bitcoin away to somebody and expecting to get a return for it, I was thinking, that at that time, I literally was not in control of my funds. I gave it away to somebody. It was just trying to trust somebody that they would send me Bitcoin back, and it never happened. And so with DeFi in this project alone, WP and bees.social and the M2 and Pixel and all the other ones, you have your own wallet with with all of your passphrases, and you keep 100% control of it. Coinbase doesn't have control of it. The banks don't have control of it. The city doesn't have control of it. You are in 100% in control of your funds. And that's what was intriguing to me. And even like into the world today, even today I was explaining to somebody that 5 years from now, you won't usernames and passwords are outdated. You will never use a username and password again 5 years from now. And the reason being is with Web 3.0, when we all see it when we have a MetaMask wallet and you use MetaMask to go and connect to bees.social or connect to Uniswap. When you connect that and you use your assets or the tokens in your wallet, it's viewable by that site. Well, with usernames and passwords, with that being outdated, and what I mean by that is like, say Netflix. When you go to log into Netflix, you put in your username or password or whatever. Well, with Web3, you'll just connect your wallet, your MetaMask wallet, and it'll have a Netflix token in there. And that's what grants you permission to the site. If you don't have a Netflix token in there, you don't get permission to the site. Same with, Facebook. You're not going to have a username or password for Facebook. You're going to have a Facebook token that in your MetaMask wallet, you connect your MetaMask or whatever wallet it is at that time. You connect your MetaMask to Facebook and you have a Facebook token. And that's what grants you access to the site. So usernames and passwords are outdated. And I can go on and on with use cases for what DeFi and asset access tokens and what tokenized, the tokenized world will look like. And I'm not the oracle. I don't have the full vision, but a lot of the light bulbs are starting to go off my head to where I can see where we're headed in the next 5-10 years.